Okay, I believe this is our fourth video today that we're doing on the name of the Creator, and we've talked about how His name is pronounced, and we'll go in more detail on that a little bit later. But on my previous video, I had read through the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verses 14 and 15 in particular, talking about that the Creator declared His name to Moses. And he declared his name as, of course, as Yahuwah, and he told him that this is his name forever. Now, the words are very important. His name has not changed. His name is not Jehovah. It's not Yahweh. It's not Yehovah. It hasn't been changed. It's the same as he spoke it back in those days to Moses. And we've talked about, we know how it is pronounced by the way it's written, and all the evidence of his name by the different prophets that carry his name in them. And it's really a terrible thing that all the names of the prophets and so forth have been changed, translated into different names. One example again is the prophet Isaiah. He was never called Isaiah. That is a made-up name. It's an English name. His real name in Hebrew is Yashayahu. Now, you may, when you look it up, you may see that it says Yesha, but again, that's based upon the false Masoretic vowel pointing around the words to change the way that they were pronounced. So, and the purpose of that course was that no one would pronounce the name, because they had made it a commandment that anyone who pronounced the name would be guilty of blasphemy. But his name, of course, it being Yahuwah, he said to Moses that this is his name forever, and it was a memorial. In other words, something that was to be remembered through every generation. So that's the reason, that I proclaimed that I spent, that 10 years trying to understand all this, and really enjoyed every bit of it too, because I just love the how wonderful the name is, how when you understand what his name means. I shared with you that in our last video, when he was speaking with Moses, he said that I am has sent me unto you. He wasn't saying that was his name. He was saying that that's what his name means, basically of the essence of who he is. Now, I am is really a very weak translation of his name, because his name means much more than that. It means he was, he is, and is to come. In other words, he exists outside of time, by the way. He's not, he's outside of time. He's the one that's created time, this time frame that we're living in. He's eternal. He always was, he'll always be. And his name reveals that, and he is the one that has created all things and causes everything to exist. And so that's why his name, is important. He's the only God. He is the only creator. There's no one else. All these other false names and abominations, and of course there's only one God, and his name is Yahuwah. And this lie that his name was, not to be pronounced, the lie that exists today among the Orthodox Jews is that his name is too holy to be pronounced, or his name is no one knows how to pronounce his name, and all this kind of lie upon lie, and that that they're to make it to where no one would call on his name because they would be guilty of blasphemy is a lie. I'm going to read from my notes here. There's not a single text in all Scripture which prohibits us from calling upon his name. In fact, the opposite is true. We're commanded to call upon his name. We're commanded to proclaim his name. We're commanded to love his name. Did you know the Scripture says that? We're to love his name? And how can you love a name if you don't even know what it is? And so, all these things are important to our Creator. If it was important to him to have his name in the Scriptures 6,823 times just in the Old Testament, and approximately 200 times or more in the New Testament, if it was important that he put his name there, it's important for us to use his name and to call upon his name and proclaim his name. I want to just read this from my notes here too, talking about the fact is that in the ancient times, in the book of Genesis, you'll see that way back then they called upon the name of Yahuwah, not the name of the Lord. That's what your English translation will say. They called upon the name of the Lord, but the actual Hebrew, the original text says they called upon Yahuwah. In Genesis chapter 12, verse 8, and Genesis 13:4, Abraham again called upon him in Genesis 21, verse 33. Abraham called the place in Morah Yahuwah Yara in Genesis 22:14. Isaiah called upon Yahuwah. Genesis 26:25. Jacob used the name. Genesis 28:16. Leah used it. Genesis 29:33 and 35. Moses proclaimed the name of Yahuwah. In Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 3, David declared Yahuwah's name in Psalm 22, verse 22. And so did our Mashiach, our Messiah, Yahushua, in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 12. In John chapter 17, verse 6. In John chapter 17, verse 26, Yahushua said, I have declared your name unto my brethren. And why did he have to declare it? Because the name had been hidden from the common people. The Pharisees and the leaders of the Jewish people at that time, they hid the name of the Creator. They didn't want the common people to use it. And so Yahushua said, I have declared your name unto my brethren. He also promised to do it again in John chapter 17, verse 26. He said, I'll continue to declare your name. And how's he doing that? Through his people. Through those that have been born again, that are part of the body of Mashiach. He's still proclaiming his name for those that know his name, and those that have realized that the importance of his name. So thank you for this time this afternoon. We'll pick this up tomorrow, hopefully, and continue on our study of this. And please, again, thank you for sharing these videos with others. And thank you for all your kind comments. I appreciate that. And we'll pick this up on our next session. Shalom.